Luke here with catsandcarp.com, and me and my boy Tommy, we're doing an overnight bank fishing trip for monster catfish. And at the end of this video, I'm going to be giving away an Abu Garcia Catfish Commando rod and reel combo. So stay tuned to win some awesome gear and to learn awesome tips and tactics for catching big catfish from the shore. Me and Tommy, we're here in the kayak and we are headed out to a remote spot that we can only access by water. We're gonna kayak to a bank fishing spot, set up our tents, and we're gonna camp all night long fishing for big catfish.
If you want to catch big catfish, picking the right spot is super important. A peninsula of land that juts out into a lake is a great spot to set up for the night. As fish cruise up and down the shoreline, no matter how far they are away from the shore, they tend to bunch up around that point. So this choke point is a great spot to set up your gear. Another great choke point is the entrance to lagoons. Fish tend to hang out in the deeper water in the daytime, then come into the shallow lagoons to hunt the small bait fish that live in there. Set up your gear right at the mouth of the lagoon and intercept the fish as they're moving in and out of the lagoon. This location is particularly good around sunrise and sunset as the fish are transitioning from the deep and shallow water. When fishing in smaller lakes and ponds, you can often hit several different features at the same time. My favorite spots include islands, reed beds or emergent vegetation along the shore, submerged snags, and deep channels. I will often set up in a location where I can put one rod in each one of these features and then test it out and see which works best. Another great spot is steep banks. If you have a really steep bank along a lake, it's often next to some deep water, especially if the bank is undercut. That is a great place to look for fish, and there'll often be fallen trees along this steep bank. The catfish tend to hang out in this steep bank in the daytime, and then when night comes, they tend to go out into shallower water to hunt bait fish. In rivers, current is king. Everything is affected by the current. So you're looking for places where there's slow, calm, sheltered water, very close to fast water. So on the bends of the river, you'll see fast current and slow water meeting. Those seams are good spots. The sheltered side of snags and boulders is also really good. Or if there's a deep hole, often at the top of the hole, there'll be lots of fish hanging out waiting for food to come. If you want to check out some of the gear I'm using on this trip, including Tommy's tent and the rod carry-all I'm using, check out a video I did last year where me and Tommy did a camping catfishing trip from the bank. I'll put a link in the description to that video.
Oh, my boys, Tommy's been here less than 5 minutes and he already fell in the water. Gotta get him in his PJs. All right.
I want to be on the house.
Yeah.
Sandbox!
Yeah, you want to sleep in a sandbox?
Yeah. And I'll for when I sleep.
See, this way you'll be close enough to the fishing rods that you can get out. Okay, here's a Kindle, a couple apples. There you go. Here's your pillow. I did bring your pillow. Hey, you got your Kindle?
Yep.
You feeling warmer?
Yep.
You having a good time?
Yep.
Good.
Okay, the spot I'm fishing today is on a very large lake, and there's a deep channel I want to hit. And it's about 100 to 200 yards from shore, which is further than I can cast. So I'm going to be using my kayak to kayak my baits out to where I want them to be. And I've got piles of snags on either side of where I'm fishing, which attract a lot of bait fish. and I'm going to try to hit different locations along that channel and the flats in between me and the channel. And this is going to hopefully get fish that are hunting in the flats and in the channel.
I see you.
Now you'll be able to see me. One of the things you don't want to do is get caught by the hook while kayaking out your bait. So I put the weight in my pocket and zip it up tight, and I put one in each pocket. And that way when I'm kayaking out, if the line tangles up or something and it jerks the line, it hopefully, knock on wood, won't pull the circle hook into my shoulder.
Kayaking out baits is a great tactic for catching big catfish, especially if you're doing an overnight trip. If you're using live bait, like really big live bait, you can't cast very far, this is a great solution. And of course, this allows you to fish at extreme distances when you're bank fishing. Now on this trip, I'm using two different types of bait. I've got live bluegill, which I caught earlier, and I'm using those to try to catch flatheads, but they'll catch blues and channels as well. I'm hooking them through the back with an 8/0 Gamakatsu hook, and I'm chucking them over the side. And I like to use bluegills for these trips because they live a really long time. They're pretty tough fish. And for the channel catfish and the blue catfish, I'm using frozen shad, which I caught on a previous trip, and I'm cutting them in half. So I'm hooking them through the top of the head because that's a really tough spot, and I'm using the head sections because it's less likely to get stripped off the hook. And always leave a light on when kayaking baits out in the dark so that you can kind of stay oriented and don't get lost.
I'm taking the bait way out there.
Because we're going to be sleeping by our rods, I've got bite alarms that'll help wake me up or let me know when something's hitting my rods. Bells will work too, but these are louder. I ended up kayaking out 4 of my rods, and then the 5th one I just cast it out as far as I could, and didn't take very long when we got our first hit. And it was on the rod that I'd casted instead of kayaked out. Which goes to show you, sometimes it's not about how far you can cast, it's just being in the right spot.
I want to have it.
I think he just got snagged up. Right here by shore. You hold the fishing rod, okay? Come here, stand over here. You hold the fishing rod.
Here's point where my flashlight is aiming. Yep.
You keep reeling it.
He's
He's all yours.
5 feet.
You got him. Oh, look at that. Look at him. He's got a funny color to him. Look at that. He's got like, he's spotted. Look at that. First channel catfish of the night. What a fat one. And he's got this cool spots all over his skin. All right.
That's good.
There he goes. There you go. You're in. Every time I do one of these videos, I get people asking me about the gear I'm using. So let me tell you a little bit about it. The rods I'm using are the Whisker Seeker Chad Ferguson series catfish rods, the medium heavy powered rods. I've got them paired up with an Okuma Trios 55S with 40-pound spider wire. I've got an 8/0 Gamakatsu circle hook, a 3-ounce disc sinker, and 60-pound fluorocarbon leader. The rod holders I'm using are ones that I made in a previous video. So I'll put a link in the description if you want to see more about these little rod holders I'm using. The bite alarms I'm using are not my favorite bite alarms. I couldn't find the ones I really like on Amazon.com, and I've broken them, so I bought these cheaper ones. They work okay, but they're not very loud.
Yeah, he's just singing.
Love you, buddy. You want cookies? You want... Well, it's 11 o'clock at night and about 50 degrees, and I just realized I didn't pack a sleeping bag or a coat. But I found some hand warmers in my bag, and I'm wearing my life vest for warmth. And I'm gonna see if I can sleep with a low of 45 tonight with just that. So not the best planning on my part, but hey, it is what it is. As long as the fish are biting, it'll be okay. Whew. It's a good one. We got wrapped around some stuff. I thought I was gonna lose him there once, but worked out just fine. The nice thing about having the kayak with you, they do get wrapped around something. You can paddle out there and get them unhooked. Whew, let's get them back in the water. Fish. One thing I hate about these alarms is they come off so easily, and sometimes they just come off randomly while you're just sitting there. I was in my hammock listening for the alarms, and all of a sudden I hear this splash sound. I come over here, my alarm has slipped off the rod and shot off into the water. It's like the third time it's fell off in the water, so we'll see if it lasts more than a day. There we go. Look at that. About a low 20s flathead. Whew. This has been quite the night, man. Gorgeous channel catfish, then a blue, now a flathead. That is a trifecta right there. Those flatheads, they love the live bait. This guy hit the live bluegill. No surprise there. Let's get him back in. Oh, that was a lot of fun. That catfish had gut hooked himself, which isn't uncommon with big flatheads. And I was able to gently twist out that circle hook without tearing his stomach. And when you gut hook them, sometimes they'll vomit and their stomach will be in their throat. Just kind of take a couple fingers, poke it back in his throat, and they'll flex a muscle and suck it back in, and he's off to the races. It's 1:44 in the morning, and I am starting to feel my age. I'm not 18 anymore. I gotta get some sleep, so I'm not rebaiting my rods. I'm just hanging them up once they catch a fish, and I'll get them in the morning. This is some great catfishing action. Well, I was awake anyways. There's a stupid beaver out there that has been splashing and splashing and splashing. It just wants us to go away, and that ain't happening. Beaver doesn't know what kind of man he's dealing with. I've fought his kind before. Alright, nice channel catfish. Not too bad for 2:30 in the morning. Whew, I'm tired. I gotta get to bed. Good morning, Tommy.
Good morning, Daddy.
Besides the obvious fatigue and exhaustion, there's a really good reason why I didn't bait up in the middle of the night. It seems that often around 1 or 2 in the morning, the fishing really cools off, and then right around sunrise, it picks up again. So, get some sleep, kind of relax, don't worry about it, and around sunrise, go out and paddle your baits again.
Well, it's a beautiful Saturday morning, and I just put out some fresh baits, and I'm doing the slow pack up. So we're gonna be getting out of here pretty early. I got a lot of things to do this Saturday, but we'll see if we can't pull out another catfish before we have to head home. Are you being crazy in here?
Yeah.
Do you like playing in Dad? Oh, got a hit.
But no more putting the bait down.
Oh, you got 2 fish. Got a double, buddy. There we go, a nice channel catfish double. Not too shabby. That'll get you woken up in the morning. Oh. Okay, snags are a big part of long distance fishing. It just happens all the time. Okay, so this guy's wrapped himself up way out there. So I'm gonna flip the bail. I'm gonna give him slack and see if he swims himself out. If that doesn't work, plan B is go out with the kayak. Well, it took some doing, but I went out in the kayak and got this guy out of that snag. Nice little channel catfish. We're gonna put him back. We're getting ready to leave, so I'm just gonna cast out a few baits instead of kayaking them out. If you wanna get as much distance as you can, this is how you hook the bait. I hook it through the forehead. If I hook it through the eyes, it's too soft and it comes off very easily. Putting it through the bone of the forehead makes a really solid hook set. Plus it hangs in an aerodynamic way, so when it goes through the air, it creates very little drag and it doesn't helicopter. And so this right here is the optimal way to hook a shad head if you want in tons of distance. Doing it through the chin and out the forehead is also another decent method, but this is my favorite. I love doing these bank fishing trips because I have such a busy schedule. I get done with work a little bit early on Friday, bam, we come down here, camp all night, catching big catfish from shore. We're out of here by 9 in the morning Saturday, still have plenty of time to get all the chores done on Saturday. It's a great way to catch some big catfish if you have a very busy schedule. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to win that awesome Abu Garcia Catfish Commando combo, all you have to do is 1, make sure you're subscribed to the Catfishing Carp YouTube channel. 2, share this video on YouTube, Facebook, any social media platform, any website. And 3, guess which is Tommy's favorite fish to catch. Okay, I'm going to choose the winner from the correct answers 1 week from today. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to click subscribe. The Catfishing Carp YouTube channel, we put out new videos every week. Thanks for watching.